the black-hearted queen who turned her castle into a torture palace. In the icy heart of the Carpathian Mountains, nestled among pine-dark forests and silver rivers, stood the fortress of Castle Vratna, cold, isolated, silent as a grave. This was the home of Queen Velika Dragomira of Velhorna, known as the Iron Widow of the East. Born in 1479, Velika was the only child of Lord Vaughan Dragomir, a brutal warlord who ruled the storm-lashed borderlands of Velhorna with fire and blood. Her mother died when Velika was just 6, thrown from a tower under mysterious circumstances that were never investigated. From then on, Velika would display signs of cruelty. Servants whispered that she drowned birds for amusement, or plucked the wings off butterflies with unsettling precision. Her tutors praised her intelligence, but feared her eyes, which never blinked during beatings. At the age of 15, she was married off to the much older King Stellan of Velhorna, a reclusive monarch known more for military campaigns than courtly affection. Their wedding, held in 1494, was said to be cursed. 3 guests died of illness within the week, and the chapel collapsed during the reception, crushing 2 monks. Queen Velika bore no children. She claimed her womb was cursed by the weight of the crown. Others claimed her husband never touched her after the first wedding night. When King Stellan died suddenly in 1506, a fever that lasted only 3 hours, Velika wept not a single tear. She donned crimson robes, declared herself sovereign queen, and withdrew to Castle Vratna, away from the capital, court, and scrutiny. That was when the disappearances began. From 1507 to 1520, nearly 140 peasant girls vanished from the villages surrounding Castle Vratna. Most were never seen again. Those who returned were changed, mute, limping, scarred. They spoke only of blood-red rooms, steel instruments, and the Queen's cold laughter. Rumours grew like mould. It was said Velika believed virgin blood could preserve her youth. She bathed in it, drank it in wine, smeared it across her face as a mask. Others claimed she was driven by pure sadism, testing how much pain a body could take before the soul broke. Castle Vratna, once a stone sanctuary, had become a labyrinth of cruelty. The dungeons were redesigned into chambers of study, where young girls were experimented on in grotesque ways: needles under fingernails, branding, slow starvation, and forced freezing. No corner was without chains or rust. Velika was not alone. She had 4 loyal handmaidens who carried out her twisted commands. Sibylla, the nurse who stitched wounds only to reopen them later. Marta, a mute woman who sharpened every blade with prayer. Clara, the herbalist who mixed poison with perfume. And Dorrel, a eunuch who kept the ledger, listing every girl's name, age, and date of disposal. By 1515, even the nobility whispered of her crimes. But Velika was untouchable. She owned half the kingdom's land and funded the army. Kings feared her. Priests avoided her. Only the peasants prayed for her downfall. Then, in 1520, a girl escaped. Her name was Milena, a farmer's daughter. Half-blind, broken-fingered, and barely alive, she stumbled into a monastery 40 miles from Castle Vratna. Her story horrified the monks. Within weeks, the Archbishop of Vragoslav issued a decree demanding Velika's arrest. A raid was ordered. The queen, arrogant in her invincibility, refused to flee. When guards stormed Castle Vratna in April 1521, they discovered horror beyond imagining. Human bones stacked like firewood, preserved heads mounted on silver stakes, torture devices soaked in dried blood, girls still chained to beds, breathing shallowly. Velika was found in her bloodbath chamber, calmly combing her hair. She did not resist. Velika was never tried in a public court. The king, her distant cousin, feared the scandal. Instead, she was sealed alive in her own tower, with only a slot for food. Her servants were burned alive in the castle courtyard, her crimes erased from official records. She died 4 years later in 1525, having scratched mad poetry into the stone walls with her fingernails. To this day, Castle Vratna stands in ruins. Locals swear the wind howling through its broken halls sounds like a woman laughing. They say the ground refuses to grow flowers. They say the queen still waits for girls to scream.